I'm Christian Abbott.
I'm Nathan Lavender.
I'm Sean Abbott.
And this is the Red Mist Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the Red Mist Podcast, Season 2, Episode 16, the Dyson Racing Porsche 962, with various sponsorships from Blaupunk, RC Kohler, Budweiser, from the IMSA GTP era.
Nice.
A fantastic privateer team, with Andile Motors, powering the Porsche 962. Also, this is a milestone episode for the Red Mist Podcast, as we've reached episode 50 overall. So, round of applause, boys.
Woo-hoo.
Let's go.
I need a button for that.
50.
You need a button for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there,
right.
What kind of button can we use?
Have we monetized this yet?
50's
Is this it?
pretty.
The cash one?
Yeah.
No. C.
Oh.
C for cash. There you go.
Yes. Except Lance Stroll's not here.
Except we haven't monetized anything on this. Anyways, getting back to it. So, congratulations, boys! 50 episodes.
Yes.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Commitment.
Made it.
Commitment.
Made
I
it
know.
to 50. Yeah,
I know.
we did.
I know. We're doing all right. So on tonight's
Sean,
episode,
Sean, Christian, good job. Sorry.
Yep, that's fine, Nate.
Yeah. Nate, thank you for being here.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Even without you,
Likewise.
this podcast could be possible. No.
Hey, you know what? It is possible.
Thanks,
isn't
and
it?
also, thanks to our many guest hosts that
Yes,
we've had
yeah,
on the show,
yeah.
too. So and
All of them.
all of them. We'll be having more. Some will be returning visitors at some point soon, hopefully. Anyways, so on tonight's episode, we're going to discuss NASCAR at the Paperclip, Martinsville, and the dash for the grandfather clock, which is actually one of the coolest trophies in motor racing, but second greatest trophy in NASCAR, I will say. Just my opinion on that. We'll talk Long Beach, IndyCar, and IMSA. Both two good races. We'll also talk WEC at Portimao, which was great. We had a unsurprising finish in in Hypercar for first place. However, behind it, we had some very interesting things happen, and it's definitely a glimpse, spicy glimpse to the future. And we had a fantastic finish in GTE.
Yes.
So and
Am.
no, it's GTE. AM. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right. It is AM. I forgot.
No pros.
And LMP2. It was a battle royale.
Yeah, it was.
Between teammates, so that was kind of cool. And then lastly, we'll discuss something that we left off the podcast last weekend, and apologize for not previewing this, but the MotoGP at Circuit of the Americas in Austin took place on Sunday, and that was a great race. MotoGP, all sorts of actions. I must say that COTA fits MotoGP bikes probably better out of everything that races there.
Yeah.
Just my thoughts on it.
No, it's. I think it's a good bike track.
Yeah, it's a great bike. Yeah, I don't know. Laguna Seca would be a great bike track. Is qualifies as a great bike track.
Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't say great. Good. It's a good bike track.
What, COTA?
COTA.
Yeah. Laguna's because they
for bikes.
Yes.
Laguna, they reconfigured it. Part of the reconfiguration was partly for it so they could get the bikes from the old one, which was daunting. But this was, anyways. Yeah. Anyways, move on.
I'm gonna add to that, because I'll tell you what, Barcelona is like terrible with cars, but it makes for amazing bike racing.
Right.
Just like Qatar.
Yeah.
We got thrilled out of a good Qatar race because F1 was visiting for the first time, but
the cars are a little bit too big for the Qatari track.
I guess
probably Monaco. I mean, there's other tracks you can.
Did you see the Autosport post I shared with you guys about what today's car with what was it, 2003's size
I didn't-
regulation.
Yeah, it
Sorry,
was
I
a
didn't say it.
20-year
Sorry.
difference, Sean.
Yeah, it was like
Night and day.
if
Well, actually, we're
yeah.
in the background here. We're actually seeing that right now. We have playing in the as background viewing. We have the 2006
yes,
USGP on.
Formula One.
Formula One from Indianapolis, and I forgot how good this was. Anyways, so let's Nate, let's circle back and get that. See what I did there? Circle back.
Yeah, I did.
Anyways, you
It
see
was
what I did?
paperclip back, right?
Paperclip.
Yeah.
So Martinsville.
I love Martinsville.
I love Martinsville. I loved it before Ross Chastain, and I still love it after, even though we can't do the iRacing move
Yeah, the video game.
or the
move.
video game or the Scalextrics
Right.
move. But we had a first-time pole sitter.
That we did, and I'll tell you what, it's so funny how this all works out, isn't it? Brian Priest gets on pole, and who ends up winning the thing? I'm not going to say it, but hey, you know what? And there's an interesting stat with that too. But I'll tell you what, I did not. And Stuart Haas, there was Eric Almirola and
Harvick.
Briscoe, Chase Briscoe.
And Harvick.
Well, Harvick, surprisingly enough, was the slowest of the four
I know, but he
in qualifying, but he was still in the top 10.
top 10.
He was like 8th, I believe, or something. But anyway, it was a great showing for Stuart Haas in qualifying.
Sorry, there's a car left on the side of the track.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly fine.
And Red Bull's a back marker?
Yeah, Red Bull. Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Yeah.
Savage.
Sorry, I'm
The
Savage.
AlphaTauri.
Yeah, and Mercedes.
No, Toro Rosso is beating Red Bull.
Oh my gosh.
Who drove for Mercedes like during this time? Who was that?
It's,
In 2007?
Was Lewis driving for them?
no. This is 2006. This is before Lewis.
Oh, 'cause
Mercedes isn't even.
that's-
Mercedes is not a team.
Oh, they
yet.
just had the engines. Because Norbert Haug was there. They just
yeah,
had
because
engines.
it's still McLaren Mercedes.
Mercedes.
Yeah.
That's why he was there.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. All right, yeah, this is pre-Lewis. Wow.
Yeah, because guess what team's on the grid? Nate, you'll like this.
Midland.
Super Guri.
Super gory. And they had, it was awesome. And,
yes.
and Taku was driving.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. And Bob Varsha goes, "Oh, and Taco had a podium last year." And I just jokingly said to Christian, I go, "Yeah, and who thought that he would go on to win 2 Indianapolis 500s?"
Right?
Anyways,
And
all right, let's
I'll tell you.
get back to the NASCAR.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm excited. It is pretty cool what we're doing. So Priest got the pole. Anything else in qualifying, or was it just standard fare, Nate?
Qualifying's a crapshoot
Yeah.
usually anyway. So, and especially at Martinsville because it's what is it, 14 seconds to get around? So it's super quick.
Congratulations.
But yeah,
Now,
you definitely want to be up front in Martinsville.
Does Priest now qualify for the Busch Clash? Oh, that's sorry.
Yes.
Oh, is it pole sitters still, or is that like gone?
I believe it's pole sitters,
okay.
Daytona winners,
Yeah,
or
and
I forget what
past
it's called.
champions and everybody else.
Past champions.
Gotcha. All right,
Playoff drivers.
Yeah, it's like everybody.
Race
Anyways,
starters.
Yeah.
Except back in the day. the real-
Yeah, right.
Well, the real
Yeah.
Busch class was just pole sitters.
No, I know.
Which was
Yeah, and the real 2009 world champion JJ Yaley.
Oh yes, that
Yeah,
blunder.
right.
That
Yeah.
blunder. Somebody forgot to update the graphics on Fox for that. Well done,
Yeah,
Fox.
car number 15.
Ugh.
Michael Waltrip's car, right?
You know what my
Or
countdown
who-
is? You know we have
What?
the countdown to the chase. I have the countdown to when Fox stops broadcasting and it switches over to NBC. God.
You like
fine.
NBC better?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. The only thing
All right, yeah.
the only positive from this weekend,
The NBC NASCAR crew.
yeah, the NBC NASCAR crew.
Yeah,
Right.
not the IndyCar or IMSA crew.
Well,
There's
we're kinda
no Indy and
stuck with
IMSA.
it.
Indy and IMSA. It's more. It's a specific person.
not the 10,000 commercials.
Oh, that too. Well, the whole production, right?
well, I was going to say, I
Anyways.
think there's a line there.
Yeah, no, I'm just kind of waiting because because the bright spot again is when was the fill-in for Smoke.
Yeah.
Bobby Labonte, great job. And
Yeah, he did a great
congratulations
job.
to Smoke. He got his first NHRA top alcohol funny dragster win this weekend. 4 wide at the Strip in Vegas. Boom.
So cool.
Yeah, I think Smoke found his weekend project. Anyways,
Right? Well, he wins in anything he gets
I
in.
know. I'm waiting for him to go.
Anything.
He's going Nitro Funny Car next year. No. Sorry, Nitro Drag Top Fuel. Oh, that'll be awesome. Anyways, as we get to, let's go to the race. It was with great joy on Twitter as I was watching the MotoGP race, that I saw that Logano had run into problems and fell down a lap. And I was like, oh, this could be 2 races in a row that he's out,
Right.
But somehow, through strategy and so forth, and mainly luck, he worked his way back to the top 10. And he was threatening. He was leading. He was leading.
Yeah.
Except number 5, the Hendricks.com Chevy, came through the field and passed him like he was standing still.
Right. I mean, and I'm surprised it even took him this long to win at Martinsville. But
I know he doesn't like the track.
He's more, when he first started in NASCAR, he was winning the 2-mile tracks when he was with Chip Ganassi, like Michigan, Fontana.
Yeah,
those were his tracks because he just ate the high lane.
Right.
All day,
which is
all
similar
race.
to what he does in World of Outlaws and sprint cars.
Right. So, I mean, naturally he gravitated toward those tracks starting off.
Right.
But never was I, would have guessed he would have won at Martinsville as one of his races.
In the post-race, during the race, when we came back to it, it was they were mentioning how he is. It was what's his name? Jamie McMurray. Jamie Mack.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Jamie Mack said that Larson said to him that he doesn't like the track. It doesn't. However he drives, like whether rolls it in, whatever he does, he can't do at Martinsville that he does on the other tracks, because it is kind of it's a unique track.
Well, right. I mean, it's super small, super tight, and you kind of have it's really one lane.
Corners 1 and 2 have a different radius than corners 3 and 4. They're not the same. Mm-hmm. That's why they call it the paperclip.
Yeah, and so
that's Larson. He just never got acclimated to it. But I guess his crew chief is like the guy that's like just sets the car up for him, that tells him he can do it. So you can do it.
Yeah, right.
So congrats to Kyle.
Yeah. No, and I'll tell you what, like he has, like you said, Sean, one of the cooler trophies. I suppose any cool race that you can win is when you get a watch, right? Or, I mean, where else but a grandfather clock?
Well, in Indy you get the Borg Warner and a big check, so that's kind of nice.
Right. The big check is really nice.
But anyways, so let's kind of just take a little run through the top 10 here. We had Larson, Logano, and then my driver of the race, Truex.
Yeah, that's a strong
that
finish
race
for
went
him.
Another 50 laps. He had Logano.
And I think he still owes him one from a couple of years ago.
And then we had this was definitely a little bit of the veterans coming to the top here in this race. Denny with a fine 4th. And then we had Chase Briscoe, who had successful, and thoughts and prayers to Chase. He had successful finger surgery for a broken finger on Monday morning at 5 a.m. And he had a funny tweet because his wife did. She goes, "Chase is fine. Thanks for the thoughts and prayers." It was pretty good. I liked it. It was definitely tongue in cheek. I mean, seriously. We had Amarillo finishing 6th, Blaney 7th, and continuing a fine, stellar season, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Yeah, another top 10 for Ricky Stenhouse.
Ricky
and I'll
Stenhouse.
tell you, he's already, okay, you could call it he's already in the chase, but these are still really good points for him.
Then we had Darrell Wallace. This is a good track where Darrell does good.
Right, and he does really well at Martinsville.
Yep, he likes. I think he likes the short tracks.
Yeah.
And then welcome back, Chase Elliott.
Right, as what Clint Boyer called what the doctor ordered.
6 weeks off.
Back.
6 weeks off, and he jumps back to 10th.
Great result.
So that was good.
That's a great result.
Let's move over to the point standings. We still remain at 1, 2.
Sean, let me ask you something.
We have 8 drivers locked in with wins.
And it's going to be 8 that they already doubled. So
all right, so we got
it could be. So
a bunch of doubled.
8 more.
Yep. We have now we have Chastain, and he's the first guy in on points, and then Harvick is the next one in on points, and they sit second and third overall. Larson has moved up to 4th. And Truex continues a stellar season. Somehow no wins, but he's 5th in points. And then Bad Brad is slipping down the tower.
Well, no. I mean, he's still in the chase.
Still in it.
It's still, this is the best start he's had to a season, so I expect something maybe good like coming this weekend. I'll tell you, he's good at these plate tracks.
So where are we off to next? Oh, we're off to Talladega. All right.
Oh yes,
that will be a race I will not watch.
No, for sure not.
I'd probably take.
That was a good track shot.
I'm gonna probably take the Christian approach. I'll watch the first 3 laps.
No,
Christian.
For this kind of a race, I don't even watch the first 3 laps. Right. You just watch.
I like to watch the start. It's very ceremonial-ish. And then, do they have the Big Mac truck with the flags on it that goes around the track?
Oh yeah.
All right. Cool.
Oh yeah.
Nothing screams America than that. And then they still have that. That's awesome. And then I'll tune in for the last 10, which would probably take. Yeah.
Which would take an hour. Right?
Just an hour? I'm thinking more like 2 hours. They used to have a 6-hour IMSA race at Talladega because they had the road course there.
Yeah.
This 500 could be 6 hours if it doesn't rain. Anyways, so all right. Well, there we go. We're off to Talladega. All right. Well,
actually, the one thing you guys have forgotten to mention is Nemechek burning it down.
Oh yeah. So something exciting did happen. Yeah. So I'm waiting. This is my next thing. I was telling Christian after this happened.
I didn't watch the race.
Larson did an amazing job. Larson did a great.
Yeah, he did.
He wrecked all the tires and rear tires. The only thing it didn't do was catch on fire.
He did a 1-lap burnout the whole way around.
The track. Did you see it, Nate?
Yeah. I think that's the first time I've ever seen someone do a whole burnout around the track.
Yeah. So Nemechek was awesome because he went around, did his little burnout show, then he pinned it against the pit wall and then just smoke showed it. And the friggin' thing, the rear tires blew out, and then all of a sudden, like the rear differential caught fire, and the thing just going up in smoke. And then post race, they're talking to him about it, and he's like plugging the fire extinguisher company that was in the car.
Yeah. I mean,
that was
sponsored.
Awesome. That was cool. And somehow the car passed tech too. Burned to a crisp. There was another great there was a great tweet by NASCAR Chasm. It was like, JHN passed tech. Here's a picture of who's he drive for? Nate? Is that Thor? Are they Thor Sports? No.
Is it? What's the driver's name one more time?
Hunter Nemechek.
Oh, Joe Gibbs.
Okay. So they had a picture. Like the thing was, Joe Gibbs Hauler heading back to Charlotte, and it was like show the front of the truck, and then the back was on fire. It was awesome. It was classic. And that
like Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah. The only drawback to the whole weekend was the drone, the Choose drone wasn't back.
Well, no.
And I think it should be here. I think it should be at all races.
I think it should be at all races too. But I'll tell you,
it was fun.
You can't even see like the little orange tape. You have to, it's difficult to see. So I think it should be. There should always be a drone.
All right. So so we're off to Talladega. All right, let's move on to IndyCar. And fun weekend in Long Beach. Mm-hmm. Second premier event on the calendar, behind the Indianapolis 500. And I was pleasantly surprised by qualifying. It was good to see that the Ferrari team, otherwise known as Arrow McLaren, lived up to their the Ferrari clown show in qualifying, as they decided to put Pato out and let him run on tires instead of saving him, and he burned off a set of tires, and could have saved that soft set for the race.
Well, I mean, not to mention the fact that they did try and warn him, or they were on the radio.
I don't know what was going on. No one knows. No one's
wasn't
going
even paying attention.
Whether he wasn't paying attention or what. Yeah. So well done to them. And again, this is why I feel for Pato. I think he can win. This is the wrong team for him.
Well, I don't know. After this weekend, it was
So up to qualifying, because what happened next, is sort of it's like really starting to. I'm starting to wonder about him, but anyways.
Well, because that's
we'll get to it. Yeah. So and then Kirkwood dominated. Andretti brought game to the weekend, as well as Ganassi.
Yeah.
So they were we had Grosjean, we had Kirkwood, we had Brian Colt. Yeah, but he fell outside the top 7. He missed
qualifying.
Yeah, he missed the final cut. We had Chip Ganassi in there with 2 cars, and McLaren was in there with 2 because Rossi didn't make it, did he?
No.
Penske, Newgarden.
It was just Pato.
Yeah. So, and we'll talk about Penske in a bit. But again, Kirkwood dominated the race.
He dominated the race because they made a smart move in qualifying.
I was talking qualifying. He dominated in qualifying.
You just said the race.
No, I'm sorry. I meant qualifying. And then, again, the sneaky Swede, Marcus, is... telling you, love that guy.
The championship points leader.
Man, he is. I love him. He's starting to. What he's starting to do. He's kind of like morphing a little bit into Dixon, in a way, but younger.
I mean, I think he's understanding that he needs to just grab points.
Yeah.
Throughout the season.
Yeah. He drives with his head.
He's
right.
Yeah.
So, which was, again, the only guy on Ganassi I have a question about is Palou, and the only reason is the crap that he pulled last year, signing with McLaren.
Right.
So, had he not pulled that, I think the team would be much stronger. I still think there's a little bit of and Palou did a good job. Palou did a good job in qualifying.
I mean, after all of that stuff, I'm also really questioning Zach as a CEO.
Yeah.
I'm not really the biggest fan of how he's operating. I know, don't get me wrong. I understand it's a...
As people like to say when he tweets out how good the team did, everyone goes, marketing man.
Yeah. So I know it can be a shark-infested water, but it you don't have to be...
You don't have to be
that
stupid.
Right.
Or you don't have to be grabbing after the today's new item, Yeah. All right. Because who's to say that Palou would be any good in Formula One?
Right.
Because IndyCar and Formula One are 2 different beasts. So one has a little bit of power steering, which is F1. One doesn't. Mm-hmm. One has traction control. Do they have traction control in IndyCar Formula One? No.
F1, no.
No, they have DRS.
Yes.
But we have push to pass.
They also have wider tires.
That's right.
So there's more grip to begin with in the car.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was qualifying. Race day. Let's talk about something that happened in qualifying. And I put this right at IndyCar. When you decide to reinstall curbing that is missing,
let them know.
Let the drivers know and the teams know. And Callum Ilott was right that they should send the invoice to IndyCar.
Yeah.
As well as who was the other poor individual? Who was that? Was it Rosenquist?
Wasn't Graham Rahal?
Oh no,
I don't know.
There was a second one. It was, but I mean,
Yeah.
that was in practice too. On the second day, that was ridiculous. And they're like going, well, it came up during the IMSA race, and I'm like going, so, but the guys people contend that it wasn't there. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, kind of
Mystery.
yeah. Well, it'd be good to let people know. Anyways, so put that one right on IndyCar. All right, let's talk about the race. The start, abomination. Christian has rightly pointed out that start it doesn't matter. It's Long Beach. It's always like that.
No. It's not that it's Long Beach. It's they need to
Move it down.
No, they need to address either in the driver's meeting of how to pace the field when you come around that turn, because what do you want as a starting procedure from IndyCar itself? In my mind, if you are doing a double file start,
Everybody needs to be lined up.
everyone needs to be lined up,
Yeah.
and you as the leader not only need to be responsible for pacing the field, but you need to make sure that everyone else is caught up as well.
Right. And
to some degree.
my thought on that is they should do something that they do at Mid-Ohio, which is they can change the starting position of the race.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because at Mid-Ohio they start on the back straight, and there's a damn good reason why.
Yeah.
Okay, they should enforce that rule there, which is let's move it further down Ocean Drive. Is that Ocean Drive or what is that? Out in front, Seaside or Ocean Drive. Anyways, the main straight.
The main straight.
Yeah,
with
the main
curve,
straight.
That's
Yeah,
Shoreline.
yeah, Shoreline.
Yeah.
They should move it further down on Shoreline. And honestly,
Okay.
you can put it right where the curve starts. There's no reason you can't put it there. We're just talking about putting a flag stand down there. Because in qualifying, the qualifying line is right after you come out of the hairpin.
The start finish line is like at the start of that curve.
Yeah, but it needs to be further down because the guys can never get through.
Yes.
It doesn't
No,
matter
no,
how
no, no,
slow
it's
they
gotta
go.
be
They
further
can't.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
further down.
Yeah.
So because in qualifying, the qualifying timing line isn't at the start finish line. It is literally after they make the hairpin turn, they gas it.
Yeah.
It's literally 50 feet up, and then they go into the pit lane. So there's no hard rule that says you have to start at. You can start wherever. It just goes the race.
Yeah.
So I think they need to look at that because that start did suck wind.
Yeah, and it's not that guys. I don't think anyone jumped the start. I think it was just everyone catching up to the back and the green flag win.
I absolutely agree.
That's what
I
it
agree,
was.
and that's what Dixon's point was that because we're just trying to start there, the guys, Dixon says I should just lay back and just do a run and start.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
Whereas he's trying to do the right thing, trying to bunch it up.
Yes.
Meanwhile, there's guys back there that aren't bunching it up, and that was Pato and Newgarden.
Or we don't do rolling starts.
Standing
we do
start?
Standing starts.
Yeah, the standing start would be fantastic. More
Well,
chaos.
they tried last time they tried that.
Was it
the
Indy?
last time they tried
GP?
that? It was Indy Road Course.
Yeah.
Sebastian Savedro stalled the start, and Michaela Loshin drilled into the back of him.
Yeah, that was tough.
Uh,
No, that was tough.
I don't know. I mean, they could try it again, but I mean,
So
I hate to say it, but last time they did was an epic fail.
Yeah, and this start really kind of sucked. It was horrible because honestly, Newgarden, he's in theory he should never been in second place. But he didn't do anything wrong.
Nope.
But again, that needs to be addressed because honestly, something could have went wrong. And then Elio.
Elio had a moment exiting one.
Yeah. Don't know what happened there.
It happens.
Yep, and then that dragged us into yellow flags, and then off we went again. Again, Kirkwood didn't crack under pressure, made the race. I think he led it comfortably, and not distance wise, but I think he was driving comfortably. Would be what I would say.
Yeah, he didn't let it get to him.
He didn't let it get to him. He had,
and it looked like he was in the zone.
Again, pays to have Brian Herter.
Yeah,
I think Brian and Colton needed a break just my opinion. Because now I think it's I don't know. I forget who's doing Colton on the box. Anyways, he's he got the guy that was doing Rossi. Anyways, so I think that was a good move, and I think it helps to have. I think Herta can, help Kyle. In 2 years, they're gonna probably have to move Kyle to somebody else because he'll be more seasoned. But from that perspective, I thought Grosjean drove with his head today and not his emotions, which was good. I think he realized he needed to get points.
I think it was also the fact that it was his teammate in front of him and not.
I 100% agree, and I think Michael has told them that they need to finish the race.
Yeah.
Because they had a rough start to the season.
Yeah.
And Mid Ohio last year, if you remember.
Yes, but I'm just saying the way the season started, they're buried in the points.
Yep.
I don't know where. Oh, he finished 16th.
Who?
Di Francesco.
Oh yeah, no. He was out of it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just like, oh god, imagine being on that guy's team.
Well, it's like the rookie class this year. They're in the back.
No, they're not, because Marcus Armstrong finished 8th.
That's true. That is true.
So.
And is leading Rookie of the Year points so far.
Yeah, and that's why they're trying to figure out how to get him back into the minimum number of races.
Yeah.
So because Taco's deal is only Takuma. Taco. Tacos.
King Taco?
Tacos with Takuma.
King Taco, not King Taco. Takuma.
Yeah.
Takuma.
Takuma's only doing two ovals.
Right. There are options for 2 others. It's dependent on whether or not Marcus wants to do them.
Oh, well,
that's what's coming out right now.
Yeah, because Takuma's only doing
which
Texas,
is fine.
which he did,
and then
Indy.
In Indy, yeah. So, anyways, which is fine. He's doing his thing in Japan too as a Honda ambassador. But, so we get to the pivotal point of the race was the yellow flag that reset the field, and this is what caught Penske out. Oh no, who spun?
No, it did catch Penske out because it was the Dixon incident that forced everyone to pit.
Oh yeah.
And then this is when if we're gonna go Penske for a second.
Yeah.
Newgarden basically ran out of fuel or was short on fuel.
Was that
right?
So the first pit stop, they short filled the car. The first pit stop was under green. They short filled the car. Oh, no. There was a yellow. This wasn't that same yellow.
Yes, it was.
But they short filled the car. They didn't fill it. They short filled it. That's how they jumped the field.
Yeah, because the other issue is that Newgarden was on
the primaries, right?
So and he had to go to alternates, and he had to make the alternates last longer,
right?
But they also took a little bit less fuel to jump some guys.
I mean, it was a great strategy, assuming you got another yellow shortly thereafter,
or at some point,
which almost happened.
Yes.
Was it Peterson?
Yeah,
down in turn 1, and I applaud this, although Townsend Bell thought it was egregious that they did this. Because the track gets spread out at Long Beach, there is a gap sometimes.
Yeah.
So the corner workers had the opportunity to go drag the car back into a safe position and refire it. There was no damage. It just stalled.
Yeah.
And they had a cut through in the wall. Now, if the car couldn't start, they could still then drag it in further, and there was no need for, so Townsend was all over that, but I think it was more for dramatic effect than anything. That's what killed Penske right there.
Yes.
Because had that happened, Newgarden would have come in, they would have changed back, filled the car, and back on strategy.
It wouldn't have mattered because the amount of laps underneath the safety car that they would have had would have been enough to save
right, but
so
but it would have worked to their advantage.
Yeah.
And it didn't. And the same thing happened. McLaughlin had the same thing happen to him. The only one that didn't happen though on Penske was Power, because he was behind, so they were kind of doing the traditional strategy. And what paid off? The regular strategy. So and then they're going, and Newgarden's like towards the end of the race, he's like getting past, and it's like, yep, let him go. Let him go. You got to let. It was all the way back to Herter. You had to let go, pass him.
I think he ended up losing out to Power.
He did.
Yeah.
But it was at that point when they were like telling him to save fuel. They were like, "How far back?" And he's got. Cindric was like, Cindric was like really calm. You got to go let Herter through.
Yeah.
And he goes, "What?" And he's like, "Well, it's either this or we finish 18th."
Yeah.
So, anyways, that was a tough one for those guys. Although Will did come through and finish 6th. So good for him. I mean, talk about a weekend of nothingness with him.
I mean, there was nothing, but I'll tell you what, he did maximize what he had. I would feel. So, I mean, a 6th place is, damage control, I would say.
He drove a very Scott Dixon-like race.
Right. Just got it to the,
and
just stayed, kept his nose clean, kept it out of trouble.
Right, and then from that, that point on, it was a Honda juggernaut. It was Honda 1 through 5.
Yeah,
which was well done considering it was the Acura Grand Prix and
minus Ericsson.
No, Ericsson's a Honda.
Ericsson's a Honda.
Sorry,
yep.
Yeah, Ganassi's Honda.
Honda, yeah. So the first Chevrolet to finish was Will Power.
And the Verizon.
IndyCar. And I'll give a shout out to Marcus Armstrong, who finished 8th, top finishing rookie. Nate, your man, Santino, finished 11th.
That's not my man.
He nipped my man, Graham Rahal. Oh, look at that. That was a solid. Graham.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is this Christian Lundgaard runs for Rahal, right? Or does he?
Yes. I honestly can't remember.
45. I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wow, it was RLL was 12th, 13th, 14th. Oof. All right. Let's talk about 2 incidents in the race. Involving our points leader.
Scott Dix. Oh, no.
No.
Oh.
No. He's
Not
Marcus Ericsson.
No, Pato.
Pato.
All right. So the first incident, it was a bit helter-skelter. This
is the one with Scott Dix.
Right. And we had the I-lot jump in the field. I'm still trying to figure out, and this has nothing to do with Augustine Capapino, but I'm still trying to figure out why Juncos left him out there. I don't know what they were trying to gain.
Either
a caution?
No. But it looks like they were trying to get their lap back, but then didn't.
No. Canapino wasn't down a lap. He was actually leading the race. He was leading the race. He did not pit. Everybody pitted, and he cycled through.
Okay.
I-lot was the one trying to get his lap back because he had that incident with the tire.
Right.
So when he came in the pit and they were dragging him around the field, he came in, pitted, got out, and on the gun, he was gone, and he got in front of Canapino. Okay? Now, nothing wrong with that. I just question what Juncos was doing with Augustine.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you would... I get it if it was at a road course, like Road America, leave him out there, okay? Because granted, it's a fast track, but
it's a long lap.
It's a long lap, and the margin of error there is far. Well, there's more risk at Long Beach than there is. So I don't understand what they were doing. So that was kind of, I don't get that. So that led to a helter-skelter moment, and cars got spread out, and then Dixon, I think Dixon took the normal line, and then Pato decides to try and dive bomb it. Now, I look at this. This is clearly Grosjean McLaughlin from St. Petersburg.
Right.
Where Roman was on the outside, had if we go into the, I'm on the right and I'm ahead, Mercedes thinking, okay, but precedent has been set in IndyCar because this happened. Scott turned in ahead of the corner. It was his corner. Pato came up on the inside and hip checked him. Puts him in the tire wall. Dixon's race pretty much done. Pato escapes. Then we have Townsend telling us that it was a racing incident, which I'm like, that's bullshit because, pardon my French.
I didn't say that.
Christian's like, yeah, Nate escaped. Sorry. Anyways, we'll leave that. That's
Wait,
all
so
right.
I got one tonight.
You got one.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah, but don't F-bomb it. I just thought, this is just my opinion on this. Overly optimistic. I equate this to being similar to St. Pete. Scott did get a penalty, even though both cars were out of the race. A penalty should have been administered to Pato.
100%. He wasn't even directly next to him. It wasn't really beating him to the apex.
Well,
he already threw it in there.
He was next to him when it was too late.
Right. He was next to him when it was too late.
That's what I mean. The closing rate was it showed speed.
Also, people have pointed this out. That corner, if you talk about, I don't want to use the word track limits, okay? But technically, he was four wheels outside the racing area.
Right. Where there's
I'm just saying. I'm not going to create.
But
everyone's done it there. So
they've never enforced track limits there.
And did you see the IMSA race? There's all sorts of
and never mind that. Did you see the IMSA qualifying sessions when the two guys, when Ashton Harrison biffed the NSX there, and then PJ O'Rourke put it there?
Regardless.
Anyway,
I've never really seen any track limits issues. I think they just put it there more for a guidance of where everyone needs to aim their car.
It's okay. But I'm just like, this was exactly Grosjean McLaughlin. So there should have been a penalty. Now, several laps later, as Christian likes to say, comma.
No. Not that I like to say. It's Fernando Alonso likes to say.
Right.
Karma.
Pato again tries that move. And this time, takes himself out.
Almost.
Yet he sticks his nose out.
Takes out Kirkwood.
I was gonna say
it took out. Yeah, but Ericsson dinged the wing.
Pillow got something nicked there as well.
Yep.
So no. But I think. No. Yeah.
So
no one else was involved in the Dixon.
That incident essentially ruined his race. So he kind of self-penalized himself, and he never recovered because he ended up finishing.
He kept dropping down.
Yeah, he was in 13th for the longest time, and he ended up finishing 17th. So whatever. But it wasn't. So obviously, then we had the spicy comments from Dixon, about the start, and then what was his comment about? That's how they want us to race. Right.
Oh yeah, he basically said it's gloves off.
Gloves off. So somebody's getting payback at some point.
Well, I like the fact that
let's probably this next race. I can tell you exactly where this might happen.
Where?
Indy Road Course?
No, it's at Barber.
Barber.
They're at Barber.
Yeah.
So the spot where Jay New had that huge crash? And they go down into the hairpin.
Oh, and then they have that
they head back up
chicane area.
I think something's going to happen there.
On the start?
No, just at an opportune time.
Around. Yeah, at an opportune time.
If it happens. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if it happens.
This is not what I want, though.
No one wants this.
I don't want to see headhunting, and I don't. I also think Dixon takes the high road too much to begin with. That he would even do it.
I'll bet you $5 he won't do anything.
No.
Okay, but I will say this. I think because of his stature in terms of seniority in the sport, he has every right to say that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and he was correct about the start. And he made his feelings felt. So, and I'm sure there's a little trip that he's taken up to race control also. And he's like, no one's going to say anything that he didn't. But Pato, I think we all like him. You're 50-50 on him.
I'm probably the minority of this. I'm not a huge fan of him. Only because he just didn't really rub me the right way when he's started. I don't get me wrong.
He's a little cocky.
Fast.
He's a little cocky.
He's fast.
He's overly cocky.
Sure. But
he's overly cocky.
He hasn't
Yeah.
He hasn't proven anything.
Right,
it's like
right,
you're still making mistakes.
Yeah, he's overly cocky. So. He did not ingratiate himself even in the LMPC field when he used to run a knot. He had some moments where he took some guys out. So I mean, and let's put it this way: when they went to Daytona last year, 2022, and they were in the LMP2 car with Colton and that, there's a reason Colton was in the car at the end versus him. Okay, I'll just be blunt about that. So I think Pato needs to kind of relook at that interview post race that he did, and where he said, "I didn't think anything was wrong," blah blah blah, and all this, and he was kind of hot headed about it, and I think he really needs to kind of tone it down.
And it's not even that it was against Dixon; it was just like, I think that was a dumb move to begin with. You put a guy on the wall,
right?
That's not racing him.
And he said the second move, and then he said something that they asked him about the start, and he was just, well, it's just like, I think.
Well, you gotta.
I'll be honest with you.
It kind of goes. He didn't give him any room. He just punted him into the firewall.
He just needs to.
And he gets no penalty.
I think from a interview perspective, I think he needs to kind of take the Colton Herter approach and get a little more chill about things, or take the Jay New approach.
Well, I think this has been, again, this is probably why I'm not a Pato fan, is because both Pato and Colton came up basically at the
They
same
were
time.
teammates.
Yeah.
They were teammates.
But between the two of them, I like Colton's style a lot better, a lot more than Pato. And I think, not that Pato isn't quick with his style, I think I like Colton's approach better, in my opinion.
I like Colton's whole presentation better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people don't like Max, but I like Max's. I like Max because he kind of gets prickly on the track, but the crap like outside of the race, when he's outside that, he's like, he doesn't want to do any of that stuff. I'll just do my sponsorship stuff, and I'm not doing the silly stuff. Which is fine. He's there to race a car.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I really don't care what drivers do outside
of
their
I don't
sport. I just, whatever you do on track, that's what I really judge for.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, all right. So, I just kind of think he needs to kind of rethink some of that. And I think McLaren needs to kind of sit down with him well.
Plus, it's also like...
I think you could learn a lot. I'll be honest with you.
You lost a win at St. Pete.
Yep.
You lost... Don't get me wrong. He should have won
St. Pete
first two rounds.
Yeah.
I get it. Frustration can go high.
Yeah.
Long Beach, you should have won.
You should have had pole. Yeah. He was the fast car all weekend.
He technically should have won. I think he should have won all three races.
Yeah. That's why,
But now he's not. I don't even think he's in the top 5 anymore.
No, he is. He still leads because he's been more consistent than everyone else.
He doesn't lead the championship.
Yes, he does.
No, Ericsson leads.
No, he doesn't. No. How? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Why didn't it? How come it didn't refresh? Hold on. Maybe you're right.
What?
No, my point standing didn't refresh. All right, hold on. I'm going to Indy. I was on the IndyCar point standing. Sorry. I mean that is the Bible. Nope, you're correct, Christian.
All right,
you're correct. So yeah,
I'm incorrect though that he is second in points.
But
so fair enough.
But he is now he's got two guys breathing down his neck.
Yes.
Okay, and if the Andretti guys can sort of get there together, and Dixon's still hanging around.
Yeah.
This is I think just put one final bow on this. Just hard luck guy so far this season, Alexander Rossi. Suspension failure.
Yeah.
2 laps to go.
I mean, I'm almost putting it to Romain Grosjean until this weekend, but I would agree with you.
Yeah. So
on that too.
So we're okay. So that'll wrap up IndyCar. We're on to a 2-day test at Indy this week. I believe it's I think it's tomorrow and Thursday, or Thursday and Friday
for IndyCar.
Yeah,
sweet.
The test. Anyways,
yeah,
so and then on to not this weekend, but the following weekend they're on to Barber, and that brings us back to Indy for the month of May. So, let's move on to IMSA.
Fantastic racing.
It's a fantastic series. I mean,
yeah, that was. I missed the first. I'll admit, I missed the first half of the race, but I watched the last 30 minutes, and wow, that was
an insane finish.
That was fantastic. I mean, for all the crap that we talked about, Pato's move and whatnot, like and I know IMSA had their issue at Sebring, but on the last lap there, but last whatever.
Well, 2 weeks in a row, but finishes under yellow.
But right, yeah. I mean those last 30 minutes were
intense,
really
Very
good
intense.
racing, in my opinion. So I really enjoyed it all.
Well,
I think it was a lost opportunity for Wayne Taylor Racing. I don't think Ricky needed to go for that move at all, considering the season, because I think looking at how this season has gone, you don't need to just throw away good results for a win.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense, in my opinion, because if you're there to win a championship, you need to be consistent. I understand the endurance races are the biggest points haulers, but you're not helping your case. Because, even after Sebring, if Shank didn't have their incident and were down so far, with the incident that did play out at the end of Sebring, Shank could have been right back up there in the points, considering that they lost their points from Daytona. And now, going into this week, did Shank have a no? It was Wayne Taylor that had a pit lane incident, but did Shank?
No. No, Shank had the pit lane incident. They got caught speeding in the pit lane on pit stop.
They got caught speeding, but Wayne Taylor had the longer pit stop for a driver change. Yes, right. That's what. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't even ready for it. It looked like
who?
Wayne Taylor.
No, they were ready for it. The pit stop. Something.
Oh no! I'm sorry. The belts. The belts were.
I don't know. Something. Yeah. Something. Whatever happened there. I just. My thoughts. I think Ricky could have waited another lap or another point in the track. He would have had him.
Well, it was with 2 to go.
And even if he didn't get it, second place points is a lot better than.
Yeah. But I just think my personal opinion is I think he would have had him where the Dixon award incident happened. I think he would have had him down into that corner there because the Acura definitely had better tires at that point. The Porsche didn't. So, I think he would have got him there. If not, he would have definitely got him the next lap down shoreline. So, I think that I get it. You want to win. It's Acura's big race. So, you're right. You threw points away.
Yeah.
So it's now you got to hope. You've gotten points taken away in 2 races now, whereas Porsche got points back because they finished first and third.
Yeah, I didn't add BMW.
Let's hold on for that, Nate.
Porsche.
Good point.
The only thing with Porsche is I don't think they're really in it just because they had a bad Daytona, they had a bad Sebring.
And Long Beach is just a different animal.
Yes.
Okay, so it's
also it's not like Porsche. had the pace to win.
No.
Like
No.
they just didn't make any mistakes.
Right.
And good on them, and
Right.
fantastic defending by them as well.
I will say this. I was very disappointed by Sebastian Bourdais.
Yeah.
I don't.
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
He didn't even make turn one.
It's,
Yeah.
look. I don't know. Sometimes I get, no joke, the red mist creeps up on people, but that was bad. Anyways, let's talk about
the good news is he didn't collect anyone else.
Right. The bad news is
that would have been
he was out of the race.
worse.
Yeah.
So so I don't think that probably sat well with Chip.
No.
Okay. And I think some of the crap that went on at Sebring has impacted Porsche's Le Mans lineup because what's his name? Campbell, because this
is for Porsche.
Yeah. Campbell's now listed as the fourth driver, so he's not even driving.
Yeah,
and I think it's two things. I think there's been an incident in qualifying, and there was another incident they had, and I'll tell you who. Tandy's in the Le Mans lineup.
Yeah.
So.
But I think he's only there.
He's made less mistakes than Campbell. So
by the skin of his teeth. I think the only thing that's really got him in there is the fact that he's won with Porsche.
Yeah,
before.
Right. So look, Penske. It doesn't matter who's run. It's at the end of the day with Roger, it's results, and he'll go. If you guys are going to still monkey around, I guarantee it. When he gets to the point with Newgarden and McLaughlin, he's going to stuff those two in the car, and like the rest of you can take a hike because I don't know. Just my opinion on that. Let's talk real quickly about BMW. I mean, they are starting to turn into the surprise team in IMSA GTP racing right now, and I applaud everything that they're doing. Yeah. They went to Daytona knowing that they didn't have all the testing in the world, and what they did was they did a 24-hour test. They had a problem with one of the cars, the other car didn't, but boy, did they learn a lot. And they had another test, and then they were right on it at Sebring, and they pure luck got a podium finish at Sebring, and here finished second and fourth, and
could have won the race.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just going to say that. Connor De Felipe could have won that race if he didn't outbreak himself.
Right. Yeah. Good point, Nate.
That was for third at the time being, you go with that far inside, you're never going to make the corner.
And I also say that Farfus and Eng in the other car did a tremendous job, and none of those guys. I think the only guys there. I think De Felipe and Yellowly maybe are the only two that ran. I don't know. Eng might have run at Long Beach. I'm not 100% certain because Jonathan Edwards used to drive. So he's now, they kind of got him doing GT3 stuff. But BMW they're coming on. And I'm curious to see what they're going to do. I'm curious to see how that car is at Laguna. Curious to see.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see, so. That'll be really exciting.
Yep. So
I can see it doing well there.
Yes.
Laguna's the next race.
Laguna is the next race. Yeah.
When's that?
I think the end of the month.
Checking. Because I know that. I think
we are checking.
What's the April? Yeah, April 30th.
End of the month
is a lot of races.
Right. No, but I'm really curious to see how they're doing, and I'm really getting on the BMW train. So I'm looking forward to getting the Watkins Glen to see that. I think the GTP is starting to really get. I think it's getting.
Laguna is next month.
Oh, is it May
14th?
May 14th. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's the next race. Sorry, it's a month away. Yeah. Sorry. But I'm really. That's just exciting. It has to bode well for BMW, especially where they're not going to be doing. They're not going to Le Mans this year, and they're not doing WEC. They're coming in next year on the WEC side. So I think that's it's huge because all the stuff they learned this year is just going to help them next year over there. So well done to them. GTD.
I mean, good stuff.
Good. I mean, the Lexus was quick all weekend. The Corvette was kind of hanging around in the pro category. Was kind of it was hanging around, but they, again, typical Corvette and Pratt Miller, they did a great job getting up there. But the battle in GTD AM. Is that what we're calling it?
No,
just GTD. Sorry, GTD Pro versus GTD AM.
No. It's just
It's
GTD.
GTD.
Jesus Christ. Sorry.
Yeah,
Anyways,
without the pro.
don't strike the Jesus Christ.
Pro.
So
AM.
I mean, Paul Miller Racing does it again. I think is it 3 in a row or 4 in a row at Long Beach? They've won. That was.
I'm not up to date on that stat.
Really?
Yeah. It's crazy. But it was a great race.
Really
They and the harder racing guys in the Aston. Whoa, great race. So all right, so we're on to that was good. It was a good race. It's just too bad about what happened with Ricky. So hopefully.
Yeah, just to clarify, he made the move and stuffed it in those tire barriers.
Right.
All on his own.
All on his own, and trust me, no one takes it harder than he does. Yeah. So I'm sure he's not too thrilled about it. But if any team's going to bounce back, they will. So anyway, so we'll move on to Laguna. Quickly onto WEC. At Portimao.
6-hour race.
6-hour race. It was not surprising. Toyota, again, class of the field. Mm-hmm. But a Toyota did run into a problem.
Well, sort of. Because although Mike Conway reported that he felt that he was losing power, they ultimately got called into the pits, and they basically got black flagged.
Oh, black flag, okay.
Or meatball flag, the black and orange flag. Because the drive shaft sensor that reports the data to the race officials was not giving them the number that they needed. So because in the rules they have to have all these sensors on the cars to make sure that the cars are not basically cheating the rules when they're out there on track, because the cars are all capable of going. All the cars out there have more power at their disposal than what they're allowed to use. Yes, that's a weird rule and weird thing to say, but they can theoretically deploy more power than what they have. Granted, this is also kind of the case with the old LMP1 cars, where if they didn't have the limitations on them during the race with the power, you end up with a race car that is what the 919 Evo became. But with today's car, they're between the internal combustion engine and the battery, they're only allowed to output so much torque. So, and this is, I think, part of their performance equity model, where it's all the same. So, but it's up to the teams of how they want to strategically deploy it.
Yep.
To do so.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. It brings in a whole nother thing. Another great thing was on the WEC feed that they do the race on, which is on Motor Trend here. They have the what is that?
It's an energy bar.
The energy bar.
So, because this is the other rule that, and I read more into the LMDH.
This is the virtual fuel thing too.
Yeah. So I've read more into the LMDH or the GTP rules than the hypercar stuff. But essentially, like, all the GTP cars I don't think it's all of them, but I know there are some of them that don't fill their car up all the way on fuel because they end up running out of energy before they do fuel.
Yep.
So, but it gets back to just the rules to begin with, where you're only allowed a certain amount of energy to be used. This is from both the internal combustion engine and the hybrid battery unit. So that's why this this torque sensor is such a big deal, because you need to know how much power is being output, which then shows you how much energy you're using.
It's really, really, really interesting.
So, but it becomes more of a race of efficiency rather than an outright pace.
It's
or
just
kind of race.
It's great.
Or sorry, instead of a fuel mileage race, it's an efficiency race.
Yeah,
and how well you can
manage both.
Yeah,
it's really cool, because at some point you can see the guys out of whatever, and it's that graphic is well presented.
Yeah. So
it's very interesting.
It's just another bar that's next to the brake and throttle curve.
And that's just in the hyperclass car brake.
The
hyperclass. Excuse me. I mean, so Toyota won. They get a lap on the field. Again, not surprising. Again, we're a year on with their car. Everyone else's, this is the first year. They've done boatloads of miles at Portimao. But the rest of the way around, look, we had Ferrari second, Porsche third, Cadillac first European race for them. They have not done any testing. They haven't even. First time they stepped in European soil with the car.
So this is the first time they've driven overseas.
Yeah.
They've done testing with the car.
Oh, over there?
Not over there, just
here.
In general with the car.
Yeah, the car's been tested here. It hasn't been tested overseas.
Yes.
So this is their first maiden outing in Europe.
Yeah.
Finished fourth.
Yep.
One car effort. Good for them. Peugeot. P5. Had some issues with their other car, but again, it's a radically different car,
Yeah, I mean, granted, this now compared to Sebring, Portimao is a much better track that suits the car.
Yeah.
The car's design philosophy is.
I think 90%. I think 90% of the cars at Sebring were designed for Sebring.
No,
so
no, but the design philosophy of the Peugeot is. Most, if not all, of the downforce comes from its under tray. So
interesting.
When you don't really have a whole lot of adjustments from a rear wing or front wing perspective, your major performance in terms of aero is from the downforce and ground effects.
So this is really telltale right here. So the other the Peugeot that started from the pit lane, called Aresta. They had the issue. They had a sensor issue that had to be, and it required to start from the pit lane. They essentially were 2 laps down by the time they got going.
Yeah.
Okay. They finished 3 laps down. They only lost a lap during the race.
Right.
Okay, so that speaks volumes to the pace that the car has.
Yeah.
Whereas the other car finished 2 laps down. So I think things are looking up there.
Yeah, and I mean, especially with their announcement of their 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Oh, livery.
So
it's fantastic.
I love the paint scheme.
The paint scheme is fantastic.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's amazing.
Stunning.
They've opted for a
predominantly
white base,
multicolored. It's just the way it goes to the back of the car.
With pretty much what looks essentially like a rainbow of colors.
Yeah, instead of the battleship gray that they have right now, which kind of cool, but
and the puke green that's on the inside.
Yeah, but anyway, so that was cool. Yeah, it was cool, but it was really interesting. I think we're I really think this year is definitely kind of toe in the water for everybody. Okay, but I really think when we hit the ground next year, it's gonna be a different ball game.
Yeah.
Next race is Spa.
Yes.
In between, Cadillac will be testing. They have a huge test set up for Portimao. They will also be bringing a second car over for that race.
Yep.
And then the third car, which is the Wheeling car, will join the team at Le Mans. Yeah. But the Wheeling guys, the Action Express guys, will be embedded with the Chip Ganassi guys at the tests.
Yeah.
Coming up. So again, just a gathering of information there. LMP2, fantastic battle throughout the race. It was honestly, it was United Autosport 1-2, but they were going at it like they weren't teammates. Yeah. So I was glad to see that, and that's funny because that's the Zach Brown team.
Oh, so. and last race in LMP2 for Hertz Team Jota.
Oh, Hertz Team Jota, right? They take their Porsche. Yes. They get the Porsche. I think this week.
Yeah.
And they will be heading off to Le Mans.
No,
Spa.
Spa.
The Proton guys they're
Not
after.
yet. Yeah,
They're after Le Mans.
I think so.
Okay. All right.
But that is going to be another Porsche 963 in the hypercar class.
And then the only downs, so that, okay. And then GTE.
Yes. Am.
Sorry. What a race. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
The only difference this time around was the Iron Dames car didn't get damaged.
Yes.
They didn't, self-inflict damage, but I mean, it was the Corvette guys, hats off to them.
Oh yeah.
Nicky Kasberg drove. I mean, Ben was funny. Ben Keating.
The Ben Keating Sarah Bovey show is doing wonders.
It's actually the Ben Keating Iron Dames show with all the drivers from Iron Dames. Like after the qualifying sessions, they're all like over, hugging each other. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
They're all like it's great to see. But Ben did a I don't think he's driven at Port. Well, maybe he has in LMP2. Can't remember. Anyway, so he actually, probably I think he's serving there. So he was running afoul of the track limits.
Yeah.
So and it wasn't just him; there was quite a few.
Yeah.
So he got down to, I guess they told him it was the fourth and one more, and he kind of backed his pace off and kind of kept the car in fourth place. Came in, made a pit stop, and then they changed drivers, and then off they went. But it was, the interview with Ben was pretty funny. He's like, I love it, but I was doing this and all that, and they said he came in and they told him he's fourth, don't worry, and they went right back up the field, and Nicky Kasberg and the AF Corsa car went at it the last part of the race. It was look, the Ferrari could have bumped and run, but it was.
But you're also not supposed to be doing that.
Right, you're not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to be doing that. So. But the Kasberg played the traffic better.
Yes.
So he got the win. The Iron Danes finished third. So well done there. Great show for 6 hours, and that was awesome. And basically, it was less than what was the difference at the line? I apologize.
Oh, it was.
It was.
There were no
it was less than a
less than a second.
Yeah. It was like a tenth of a second.
And the other thing that I will say that I enjoyed about the race was it went green for 5 hours.
Yes, it did.
And then we just had
the Van Wall. My God. The Van Wall again showing promise.
Yeah.
Okay. FP3 definitely showed promise.
Great. Portimao is also a track known for high brake usage. So unfortunately their brakes let go.
And it wasn't
just flames.
It was early in the race. You and I were watching, and we were talking about the Ferrari, and like the Ferrari came in, literally they were on fire. Like every time they came in, and the guys on the Ferrari wall were telling the drivers to kind of lift and coast, all that.
Yeah.
So, but the Van Wall, man, friggin' just complete disc. The disc exploded. Yeah. And Jacques went for a ride. Well, fortunately, like it was he did a good job. He buried it in the sand trap. Yeah. So but too bad.
But the race overall was green for 5 hours, and you really got to see the strategy come out for everyone. Yeah, which was nice to see. And then, but what that strategy or what that caution did bring out was pretty much an hour sprint to the finish, and it put the hypercars on borderline. Can you make it or not? So the Cadillac and Peugeot pit right as the green flag dropped, so then they wouldn't have to make the splash and dash at the end for fuel or energy, whatever it was. And then as the stint went on, I think Porsche and Ferrari ended up pitting as well. Toyota ended up walking away with it. They're super fast, so is what it is.
I have no problem.
But the Ferrari and Porsche had to make pit stops towards the end, and it made the Porsche and Cadillac finish a little bit closer than what it was looking like.
And look, the Toyotas are not infallible to problems. So
no.
Okay, so anything can happen. So good weekend there. We saw that firsthand. The COTA has stopped. And
my God.
And Porsche wins.
Yeah.
That was brutal. Anyways, so we're on the Spa for 6 hours or 4 hours?
6
hours? 6 hours. Oh man, that'll be fun.
And this is typically the track where you see the Le Mans trim, aero trim come out.
Yep.
So
And it'll be exciting. We'll have Cadillac with 2 cars there, so looking forward to that. And Joda will be there with their car, so
Cadillac screaming around the
it's gonna be
Spa
awesome.
Oh,
It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah.
So look forward to that. All right, let's last topic here, and then we can wrap this up. MotoGP. I know we don't really. Nate, are you a fan of MotoGP?
I always miss it, but
Okay.
I always like looking at it on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
So
All right.
great, there's great overtakes
Yeah,
that I think are insane.
Yeah, I'm a MotoGP fan. I mean, I've always been. So not just MotoGP, but just whatever it's been, 500 cc's, whatever. But I love I love it. They're insane. It doesn't matter whatever. They're all insane. This week, this weekend, they were at COTA. Pecco Bagnaia. I can't even say it. I don't even want to say. I just say Pecco. I'm just gonna say Pecco because that's what is like short his name. Guy, he rides for Ducati, and the best thing about Pecco, it's crash or win. That's what I love about him. All right, and unfortunately this weekend he crashed out. What?
From where?
First. I mean, he started off perfectly fine.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, it was fine.
But the crazy thing was it wasn't just him.
Oh no, right. Before he crashed out, I think 3 other guys crashed out. And all the crashes Alex Marquez, he got taken out by
There was one
the first lap going through. I forget who.
Everyone that had an incident basically lost the bike.
Oh, Jorge Martin.
Yeah.
And Alex was it Espargaro or Marquez?
Regardless, everyone
was
was leaning into the corner, and basically the bike just went from underneath. It looked like the track. It looked like the track was slippery, but I guess there was some rain.
There was rain, but then they were running
the day before.
And these guys can run different tire compounds on the back and the front, and the front. So the majority of the teams were running hards on the front and softs on the rear. That's how it's counterintuitive, right? You would think you would run softs up front.
I mean, it is, but it isn't until you realize the reason behind it.
And there's a reason behind it. And I mean, the way these guys make the bikes dance, because everything's really on the front brake, not the rear brake. That's why. I mean, in super slow-mo, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So there was all the crashes were kind of like these ones where the front end just washed out.
Yeah.
And there was one where I think it was Alex Marquez. He got trapped. Like, he got taken out. He was just on the outside of a guy, and the guy's bike just washed out, went down, and he got trapped in between the 2 bikes as they slid to the Tech Pro. It was like, that was tough, but he got up. He was fine. But like some of the other guys, wow, it was crazy. Like, and so like on lap
20 lap race.
No, it was 20 lap race, and Pecco was doing really well. He's out in front. He was getting. Alex Rins was. He was chasing him. He wasn't. I don't think he was pressuring him. The announcers were saying he was, but I think Pecco was just kind of monitoring the race.
Yeah.
Goes down, goes up the hill, up to turn 1, comes down, goes into turn 2. He wasn't anywhere near the apex, and he just went right in the middle of the corner. Just the bike just went whoom, right off, and then from that point on, Rins kind of ran away with it. But what was cool was the race after was for second and third was Fabio Quartararo was chased by Luca Marini. And Marini, it's kind of cool because he races for VR46, which is the Valentino Rossi MotoGP team. That was their first podium. So well done to those guys. Alex Rins' team, LCR Honda, they're not the factory Honda team. So they're kind of a private Honda team. They're factory supported, but anyways, they're not the Repsol Honda team. Their 100th podium. So good on them. So it was a fantastic race. Maverick Vinales finished fourth, which was great finish for him. So it's that's how MotoGP is, and I just people need to really. I hope people tune in and watch it. It's on NBC. The coverage is not as in depth as Formula One or IndyCar. They don't show a lot of practice. They don't show the qualifying. There's highlight shows that you can find on Peacock, but it's really kind of cool. The next race is April 30th. Nate, it's at Jerez in Spain.
All right.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
That's a good bike.
I'm gonna try to find it. I'm gonna try to find it because I want to start really watching MotoGP.
You know what you should do?
There's some good. There's some good ass racers.
You know what you should do? Just find it and tape it. On your DVR. That's my best suggestion.
I know. I wonder how many people would just spoil the MotoGP results for.
I don't care. Screw it. Anyways, well, sorry if we did. Anyways, but that was fantastic.
The only other piece of news did we talk about Isara Fraschini?
Yes, last week. Yeah, we did
talk about
we
it.
Did
okay,
talk
I just
about
wanted
it.
to make sure we got that.
There was another piece of news today. Nate was excited about this because the guys from Cowlick Motorsports.
Yeah, because they finally
got their points back
for NASCAR.
They got their points back. Of course,
Right.
when Hendrick wins the race, right? But
So hey, they got their points back. At least justice. At least justice was done.
And speaking of Hendrick, I forgot to mention this. This is the same site where Jeff Bodine got Hendrick their first win at Martinsville in the 5 car.
In Martinsville,
So it's really cool to see that happen.
Well, in
modern times.
Martinsville is also the place where the Hendrick team lost a lot of colleagues.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a really sad tragedy.
Yeah, so it's kind of it's a track of
in 2004.
a lot of great memories, but a lot of bad memories. But hey, good for them. Also, well, keeping on the Hendrick theme, the final Sebring test of Garage 56 took place today. So I'm curious if they're going to go with 4 drivers now.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering.
JT.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if maybe it might be in their best interest to do that.
I probably considering his debut.
Debut.
Anyways, how that went.
Debut.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just wondering if maybe they're thinking about it. But anyways,
it'd be nice.
It's Garage 56. Yeah. You know what? They could bring over the entire NASCAR field. They all go drive out there. Who cares? Anyways, it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun if they rotated guys through. It'd be fun. Trying to think if there was anything else. The field's set for Indy. 34 cars.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have some bumping.
Bump day.
Oh yes. Yeah. Bring it on.
Yeah. Well, we also found out something else.
We did.
Christian and I are kind of excited about this. Carb Day is going to be a long day for at least 2 of the crew that's going.
I don't think have we said that we're going.
Oh yeah.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
We're going.
Yeah,
breaking news.
Yeah. Two-thirds of the Red Mist podcast will be 2/3 of the Red Mist podcast and one of our guest hosts.
Yeah.
We'll be at the Indianapolis 500. So I don't know if we can sort of figure out how to get this equipment there. Maybe we can do a podcast. I don't know. So I'm looking forward to that because that's going to be crazy.
Well, I'm glad you guys are finally going because I've
I know.
been 4 times, and I'll tell you, it's the best time.
And the guys, a couple of guys that have been have said the same thing. I've never been. Christian's been for qualifying.
Yes.
But I
got to see.
What did you see? What did you see, Christian?
I saw Alonso get bumped.
Oh,
you mean Kyle Kaiser?
You didn't see. The one thing we're never going to see is a new track record.
Coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, that's just not going to happen with these cars. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So we'll be there the Thursday before the race. So we'll be there Carb Day. But excuse me, had a moment there. Got clumped.
Partying at the Snake Pit show?
I got very excited about this morning. I sent this to Christian.
Yeah.
So the Hoosier 100, which was supposed to take place this past week, has been canceled and moved to the Friday night after Carb Day.
Yeah.
The Friday Carb Day. It's been moved to Friday night at Carb Day, and that's at IRP.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
That's gonna be
we're going to be going to that, and then on Saturday is the Little 500.
Yes.
Which I think we're going to.
We're going to.
We got to try.
Sorry, let me rephrase this. I want to go.
I'm going. I think there's somebody.
I don't know.
One of the other crew. One of the other members.
Yeah, I don't know. Who
RB
else
wants to go. I think.
I don't know who else out of the group wants to go. But
Yeah.
I want to go.
I want to go, and so I really like. If they want to go indoor karting, that's fine. They can go indoor karting.
I would also recommend going to Newcastle because that was a really
that might be on the way home.
Yeah, I think that might be the on the ride back.
On the ride back to Detroit.
Yeah. Because we're not flying into
Indianapolis.
We're going to Detroit and then driving it down.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we just found this out. So now I got to go find out. I got to see if anyone's interested because, like, I want to go. That's sprint cars. Little 500s midgets.
Yes.
So I want to see.
Yeah.
That's I'm like if I could see both on the same thing. Yeah. And it's the silver. What do they call it? Silver Crown.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No wings.
I
know. The only thing missing is like going to a dirt track and seeing like World of Outlaws. Oh, that would be amazing. Anyways, so
Derek, we'll make it one day.
Yeah, and I just want to. Just real quick. I just want to put a. I know folks don't. I know it's another expense, but if you got Flow TV, which does a lot of the dirt racing, after last week's recording, I watched the High Limits Sprint Car series, which is the sprint car series run by Brad Sweet and Kyle Larson. Essentially, it's wing sprints. It's essentially the World of It's the World of Outlaw guys. They just run it. It's another night out for them, not under the World of Outlaws banner. So there's Rico Abreu, Kyle Larson, Brad Sweet. There's a host of the guys are there. So it was kind of cool. It was great to see. The only thing was they had mixed in, and they kind of talked about it afterwards. I saw it on social media. They mixed in a local, like dirt modified type race, and it it kind of strung the program out a little bit. So I think they're going to try and look to streamline it, where I think it might be just those guys, the high limit guys running. And they'll just do their heat races, qualifying, and then take a break, and then come back out and do their final races. So mains and then the final. But it was kind of cool. There was one gimmick in it. So the top two qualifiers got to roll the dice. So if you roll the dice and it comes up 6, you move back to the 6th position. Mm-hmm. But the kicker is if you go back there and you win, you're the only one eligible for an extra incentive to $1 incentive. It's like $10,000 extra. So it was $50,000 to win. So if you went back there, it was 60. You basically, if you could win from 6, you won 60 grand, 10 grand. Like it. That.
Yeah.
So it was. I forget who it was. Rico was the other guy, and. No, it wasn't Rico. It was the two guys. They both like the guy rolled and he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna start up front." But it was cool. It was really cool. It was a fun night of racing. So it's on Flow, and they do World of Outlaws, and they do a bunch of the dirt sprints and midgets. So if you got that, it's like $150 for the season pass. I know it sounds like a lot, but honestly, I don't know what a ticket is to a NASCAR race, but it's $150. I mean, you go to a Bruins game, it's $150.
I'd figure.
Yeah.
From some of like the local short track stuff I've seen, like $25 is your
which is
general
fine.
admission
Yeah.
ticket. So
Yeah.
I mean, just to kind of put it in perspective.
But I'm just trying to equate it to if you go to a Bruins game, you're looking at $150 for a minimum good seat. Yeah. So look, $150. I know it's a lot, but man, the content that you get is amazing.
Yeah.
So if you're into that kind of racing, highly encourage it. Mm-hmm. And then if you're on YouTube, check out the FIA karting.
Someone throwing a bumper again?
No, I just watched it this weekend. It was fun. Anyways, I watched the shifter cards. It was fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. I think on that note.
Good night.
Thank you guys for listening to the Red Mist Podcast, hosted by Christian Abbott, Sean Abbott, and Nathan Lavin. It's produced by Christian Abbott, and music is by Alex Wart and Harrison Tate.